Jack, I can't believe, switching subjects, that the race warriors have now gone for even the Muppets. I mean, you've got Disney Plus now streaming this legendary children's show, but it's slapped a disclaimer on 18 episodes, a warning, who knew they were this bad, a warning that these episodes show negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures, adding these stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversations to create a more inclusive future together. Well, let's spark a conversation here, Jack. Kermit was a lovely, peace-loving frog. Was Miss Piggy to blame, or were the Muppets in some other way racist?
Gee, you'd have to be a rather twisted individual to look at, history and old media, decades old, through such a strange lens of racism that you can find fault in Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog. I think that these corporations, that they're really posturing, and they want the world to know that they're not racist, and they want the world to know that they're aware of all these inequalities that have been historically committed by people. But they're finding it in really strange places. And the obscurity with Disney itself is that it has not the best track record. And look, they recently released this movie, Mulan, and it's caused quite an uproar.
Oh, before we get onto that, I want to segue into exactly, because that was thinking on my mind, Jack, because where the Muppets went wrong might not have been simply that Johnny Cash was playing in front of a Confederate flag, which is now a sign of racism. Maybe it was then, I don't know. I don't think it was assumed then. But also they played Steve Martin singing a song in mock Chinese. Have a listen to this.
All right, in Chinese now. Well, I'm ramming.
Okay, now I'm thinking that, well, that's now got a warning on it, that Disney is very hard on the Muppets, Jack, but very soft on China. I've shown you that clip. You tell me about Mulan.
Yeah, well, essentially, the Mulan scandal really came to light when it surfaced that in Xinjiang, the region where all of the Uighurs are being imprisoned, they're suffering absolutely unconscionable abuse. The US government has actually described it as genocide. Well, Disney, being so woke and politically correct, they decided this was the perfect place to film the movie. So they got all their actors together, and they actually filmed a couple of key scenes in this region in northwest China, where all of these horrific tragedies are actually happening. And in the credits, they actually thanked 4 separate departments from the Chinese Communist Party's propaganda units for welcoming them there and having a security unit. And this kind of profiteering off a region which is really just, absolutely some of the, I don't know if you read this, the BBC investigation that was talking about some of the sexual assault allegations out of these re-education camps. This stuff is stomach churning. And to think a company could be so unaware...
It's like filming in Germany in 1939 and thanking the SS for providing you with security.
Exactly. And for a company to not understand the hypocrisy of saying, well, stereotypes of a racial nature are bad, but racial genocide, well, we'll work with that government. I mean, how appalling is that? How unself-aware can you be?
What they understand is Chinese gold. That's what they understand. Jack Houghton, thank you so much indeed for your time. Great stuff.